Welcome to this short video, which is meant to explain how I got the prize for network science and graph analytics. I got interested in this field something like 10 years ago when I was working with my colleague Nico on networks which were mainly financial. And today I extended my interest from financial to financial and real networks, but let's see why and how. Our first research, which was then published in the Review of Financial Studies, was meant to explain how corporations create value and at the same time a lot of risk by having a common shareholder and by organizing themselves as parent subsidiaries, instead of organizing themselves as mergers or standalone companies. Indeed, the parent subsidiary organization has a main advantage in the sense that it permits to have co-insurance among the corporations without having negative contamination in case of default. And this doesn't happen if you have a merger which suffers also from negative contamination. When one entity of the merger goes bust, also the others are in danger. And it doesn't happen instead in standalone companies that they have positive contamination in the sense that they cannot help one each other in case that one defaults and the others survive. So in the same vein, together with another colleague, Klaus Wilborg, we then examined the purely financial networks of banks. And the difference with respect to the corporations is that in case of banks, governments, they can intervene and bail out the network in case of default. And we showed that in spite of the governmental intervention, the bank holding company is still the organization which is like the parent subsidiary and which creates more value but also more risk. And the more risk is due, as in the case of corporations, to create value, they leverage a lot. And therefore, they can create also a lot of losses. In a subsequent paper with Klaus Wilborg, the first having been published in the Journal of Banking and Finance, and the second in the Journal of Financial Stability, we showed that indeed this feature of the networks of banks explains why in the US most of the banks are organized as bank holding companies, and why this structure, which is criticized because it is opaque and sometimes too complex or too big to fail, creates a lot of value. Now, faced to the data of the US, our theory is able to explain what we see. And therefore, we decided to study whether not only this feature is important in financial networks, but also in industrial ones. And therefore, today, together with people from the Polytechnical School in Torino, we are studying whether the crisis, the shocks on the real side, such as COVID-19 or the war, they can go to financial networks and sort of contaminate the resilience of these networks. And we are studying, we are not there yet, so we are still in the process of examining both the theory and the application to the data, whether the presence of a real network together with the financial one increases or decreases through leverage the resilience of one and the other. So this is the reason why I think I got the prize, and this is research together with my colleagues that we do like a lot, and any cooperation in that is very much welcome. Thank you.